Yo, what's up guys? Nico Rapklis here, and so glad to have you on this video. This is gonna be a little bit different. We're gonna be talking about how to be more productive in 1 week than most people are in the entire 12 months of the year. You might be watching this video at 1.75, gotta get this in, right? But we're gonna talk about how being productive is quite different than what most people think and just jamming a bunch of things into your schedule. And on this video, I'm gonna show you this timeline on what really makes you productive and helps you become that much more productive rather than just trying to jam your life full of activities. And then we're also going to talk about these 4 journal prompts that can massively increase your productivity and again help you become that much more productive in a lot less time than most people take the entire year. So my name is Nico Rapklis, glad to have you on the YouTube channel. Let's dive in. So one of the first things that you have to understand is that this graph right here, okay, we've broken it down into basically 3 segments, okay? 0 to 25, 25 to about 60, and then 60 to 80. And there's actually a stat that said most people die, I think it's like the average, most people die at like 72, which is absolutely insane, right? But we really want to focus on this part. And a quote that I heard recently that just hit so hard, it was Benjamin Franklin said that most people die 25 years old, but they're not buried until they're 60, 70, right? Which basically just means that they're sleepwalking through their entire life. So the real big thing is that how do we wake up right here? How do we wake up from actually living life instead of just preparing for life? Because here's the thing, there are basically 2 camps in this. There's all sorts of different camps. I would say there's actually 3 camps, okay? One camp is people that are completely sleeping and just unawake to any type of personal development, any spirituality, any of that type of stuff. Then there's the people that jump into self-development, they jump into spiritual development, and they're always just preparing. They're just constantly like preparing and growing so that something will happen at one point. And that's what I was for a real long time, and it can definitely be a bit toxic, right? And then there's the camp that actually is living life. So I guess a question I want to ask you, are you preparing to live life? Are you asleep? Or are you actually living life? And recently I've really come to understand this, is that like, how do you make peace with where you're at and truly enjoy every second that you're alive and embrace every second and treat it as a blessing? Because, me right here, like obviously I have audacious goals and I want to build a big company and, have a family and all that kind of stuff. But if I'm just focused on that stuff and casting that vision, obviously that's great, but it's like I'm missing out on right now. And so I want to talk about this and how we actually can wake up so that we are living, and what we teach a lot of our accelerator clients and people inside of our Skool community, which is the key to actually manifesting, is being present in the moment, making peace with where you're at. And then again, I'm going to talk about these 4 journal prompts that will absolutely change the game. So how do you actually make peace with where you're at? Really, it's the understanding that life is right now, and this is the only time it is. And the more that you can just observe your life and be here right now, the more that you're actually embracing. Not necessarily that you always have to enjoy every second of your day, but it's about getting a little bit better, feeling a little bit better every single moment. And if you're focused on that, like even within this video, and oftentimes we get on our coaching calls, we ask the client, how are you feeling right now? And then they say, whatever, 7? They're like, okay, we want to be at an 8, okay? So really the focus is feeling good, and the only way to be feeling good is if you're present in the moment and really doing things that keep you present, even if it's little things like this drink. Like really embracing that as opposed to, just drinking and thinking about all sorts of different things. And this is why we always are so adamant on meditation and breath work and silence, because it gets you to be present, it gets you to observe. And like I talked about on a previous video, one of the best ways to just observe your life and be present in your life is imagine that there's a drone flying over you at all times, just observing your life. And I think when you take that approach, you actually start to be more present and just observing you in the moment, as opposed to thinking about a million different things. As entrepreneurs, as professionals, we have a lot going on, right? I have a lot going on. But the more that you be present, the more that you can focus on things that you really enjoy. That's why I make so many YouTube videos. That's why we're on this mission to do 90 videos in 90 days. That's why I like drinking things like these. That's why I like, building businesses. It's things that I enjoy. It's why I love having conversations. It's why I love, doing podcasts, because I genuinely enjoy those things. And the more that you can tap into the things that you enjoy, and you can find yourself laughing so much more and be intentional about laughing on a consistent basis, that's when you actually wake up. That's when you're not in this phase right here where you're just literally waiting to turn 60 years old. Okay, and that's when you're 72. Like, if you're missing out this part of life, it's such a big part of your life. And most people, you see any of these interviews with people that are on the tail end of this, one of the things they always say is like, I wish I just enjoyed it more. Right? Like, what are you preparing so much for? And so that's what the kick I've really been on. I've been reading a lot of books like Letting Go, The Untethered Soul. It's just like, be here now, observe, okay? Power of Now. Those are some of my favorite books that get you to be very present and enjoy the moment instead of preparing for the moment. So let's talk about these 4 journal prompts that can help you truly become more productive. And I heard a story recently, this was wild, talking about Oprah, okay? And they were talking about specifically her schedule, which I thought was amazing to hear this. But basically, it was saying that like the majority of her day, I think it's, probably like 8 hours a day, she's working on herself and she's being very present with that. And 2 hours of the day, she's actually working. And so I just thought that was really profound because of the fact that she's doing what she loves. She's working on herself as opposed to, always working, always having something to do. And like we talked about at the beginning of this video, it's about being more productive, but it's about doing things that are helping you become the best version of yourself. And that in turn is what's gonna actually help you be more productive rather than just jamming a million different things inside of your life and just waking up one day when you're 60 years old and be like, what actually happened? So let's dive into these 4 journal prompts. Prompt number 1. Let's see that. So what it says is that if you had massive courage, what would you do? And the reason that I love this question, I'm actually going to share with you here in a second all my answers to this question. I wouldn't normally share my journal entries, but I think this is important. It's good to give some context. And what I actually did is I actually went down to our pool. It was on a Sunday, and it's been a while since I had like a me day where I really took some time. But I just went down there, I sat in the cabana, and I really journaled out all these things. So what I would love for you to do is not just listen to this video and say that was a great video, but actually take some notes on this video, maybe even come back to this video, maybe 2 or 3 times. I always love the concept of spaced repetition. That's gonna help you truly embody these type of things. You just keep on repeating it, and that's why we always recommend coming back to these YouTube videos on a consistent basis, because it's gonna help it cement deeper and deeper. But actually go out and do these journal prompts, take the time. And I was talking with a prospective client recently, and why it's so powerful to journal is because it actually slows down your thoughts. If you're anything like me, my thoughts go fast, right? And so when you journal, you get to slow them down. And when you slow them down, you're more present in the moment. When you're more present in the moment, you're actually enjoying it. When you're enjoying it, you're actually more productive, which again is the whole concept of this video. So take that to heart and actually go do these. Go sit down by the pool, go to the coffee shop, and take some time. Do at least an hour. One of my favorite books, The Road Less Stupid, incredible book. He talks about thinking time. We always recommend to people inside of our Skool community and our clients, do an hour of thinking time every single week where you're just literally thinking, getting your thoughts out, writing them out, okay? So just wanted to preface all of that and really make sure that you're completing that so that you can be actually more productive. So if you had massive courage, what would you do? Because I think a lot of time with this scale that I showed you is that most people they let fear control their life. And it's not necessarily like fear's going away, but it's about having courage within that fear, okay? Most people say like, oh, be fearless. But it's just like, you're always gonna have fear, in my opinion. Some people disagree with me on that. But it's more about being courageous. I think there's always gonna be another level of fear. So how do you continually push the courage muscle, strengthen the courage muscle, get strong with courage, so that you can actually go out there and do the things that you want, right? I think, and for a lot of time in my life, I've let courage control me. So it's like, fear control me. So how do you step above fear and develop courage? And so if you can start thinking about that, like, what would you do if courage was your thing, right? You didn't let fear control you. So let's step into that one. It's a really powerful one. Now, question number 2. Not focusing. There we go. Question number 2. My handwriting's sloppy, so I'll read it too. What would you be most proud of 1 year from now within yourself? Okay, really think about that. Think about some broader perspective. And I think that's such a great question to say, like, what are you most proud of? That's something that we ask people a lot around here. And it's really something to say, like, well, what you talk to people that are on the tail end of life and saying, like, what matters to them? What were they most proud of? And it really helps build your self-esteem. But think about that in, like, even the future tense of like the person a year from now. Me a year from now on August 20th, 2025, what is he going to be most proud of? Ask yourself that question, and I'll share my answers here in a second. So that's prompt number 2. And then number 3 is here. What are the 3 things that you need to stop? Okay? Being productive is oftentimes about trimming things down rather than just, again, shoving so many things in. And so what are the 3 things that you need to stop that's actually going to help you become more productive, because now you're trimming things down? And again, I'll share with you my answers here in a second. And then last question is, number 4. You can read that. Probably not. My handwriting is terrible. What advice would you give someone else in your situation? And I think this is such a brilliant question, because you get to, like, take a step back. And we are, I think, inherently, us humans, we're so much better at giving advice than actually taking advice. So it's like, just imagine yourself as someone else. And this comes back to being the observer. If you're that drone and you're just observing yourself and you're saying, that guy, look how he's doing. Like, maybe he's doing some good things, but, like, what advice would you give him? And so I really want to share my answers with you, because I thought these were really profound, and that really helped me significantly. And I thought, people watching could benefit from this. So if I just have that massive courage, what do I do? And even the question I even put in there too is, what if I couldn't fail? And so one of the things I said is that the only way you fail is you stop being you. Okay? And basically from there is, like, just continue to be me, no matter what that is. Continue to step into courage. Whenever I feel that fear and it's something I know in my heart that I want to do, whether it's going and talking to attractive women, or it's starting the business, or it's continuing, like, trying a different marketing strategy, or making more YouTube videos, whatever it is, it's just continually being me. And that's why I love making these videos with, I'm just cracking jokes and having fun, and drinking a seltzer, a blood orange seltzer at the same time, because that's being me, right? And so being me, what I said is that it's loving God, it's loving yourself, and loving others. And when I can stay in that, I know that, I will continue to be the best version of myself. Okay? What am I going to be most proud of about myself 1 year from now? And I said, keep mastering shit and love life, which again adheres to this video so much about just being present and enjoying life instead of preparing for life. What are 3 things I need to stop doing? Well, one thing I said in here is that delegating helps me slow down more. And again, I think that's really the key, is I want to slow down more. I don't want to just jam-pack my schedule with a million different things. So when I delegate more, it slows me down. It allows me to focus on the things that matter. So just like the thing I shared with you about Oprah is, like, I want to continue to delegate more so that I can have more time for my personal growth. So I can have more of these times where I'm sitting and journaling, because that was one of the most productive things that I did all week, was sitting down and journaling these. So specifically editing YouTube videos and shorts, the TikToks and all that kind of stuff, posting, and then social media and setting. So those are the 3 things that I want to stop, and I'm building out systems to actually get there. And what advice would I give to someone else in my situation is keep growing and have faith. Just keep growing and have faith, and just keep going. So those are my answers to those 4 questions. But thank you so much for watching this video. Truly appreciate your time and so glad to have you here on this mission with us. If you guys are down with our mission of helping over 20,000 people become magnetic manifestors and that much more productive and really embodying who they're meant to be, make sure and subscribe to this channel. You can also join our Skool Community where we talk deeply about all this type of stuff. And you can find all the links down in the video description and the first pinned comment. But to recap, okay, the best way, the most productive thing that you can actually do is to quit sleepwalking, to make the decision that you're going to live and be present with present with yourself rather than just trying to jam pack your schedule. Okay, that's point number one. And then point number two is do those 4 questions. They're really, really powerful. I'll go over them again real quick. If you had massive courage, what would you do if you couldn't fail? What would you be most proud of 1 year from now? And then what 3 things do you need to stop? And then what advice would you give someone else in your same exact situation? So thank you for watching this video, guys. Make sure and join our Skool Community and make sure and watch this video that will tell you how you can actually be a part of our mission and be part of this. So appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you in the next video.